I am one of many people who absolutely adored the show Dexter. I thought Dexter, now I was a little bit late to the party. I think if I'm not mistaken, I jumped on board with Dexter about maybe halfway through season 2. You know, I caught an episode and I thought that looks really good. And then a friend of mine, Serena, she said to me, okay, but don't watch anymore. Go right back to last season and start watching episode 1. Here's some DVDs. So I'm like, okay. So I went back and started watching, got instantly hooked, completely hooked on this show. The ending of the show maybe wasn't so great. Maybe the ending of the show wasn't so great. But I still like the final season. I know a lot of people didn't like the final season at all. I actually thought the final season overall was still pretty solid, but especially the last episode and the last couple of episodes, definitely they didn't stick the landing, no doubt. But I still love this show. Now that's one of the reasons why I got so excited when they announced a while back that Michael C. Hall was coming back and they were doing another season of Dexter. And they're bringing Dexter back, picking up where we left off at the last one, which I am thrilled about. I am absolutely thrilled about. Now, of course, one of the characters I did not expect to see in the series because, well, she dies in the series, spoiler alert, is his sister, adopted sister, played by Jennifer Carpenter. True story, a little bit of trivia if you didn't know. So Jennifer Carpenter and Michael C. Hall play adopted siblings who fall in love with each other in Dexter, but they were actually married in real life. They're since been divorced, but they got married in real life too. Anyway, not expecting to see Jennifer Carpenter in the show. Well, now there's some buzzing going around that we're going to see Jennifer Carpenter back, reprising her role of Deborah Morgan. Now, of course, you might be asking yourself, time out. This isn't the Marvel fake death cinematic universe. Her character died. There's no superheroes or time travel in Dexter. How the hell could she be coming back? Well, for those of you who watch Dexter, one of the things that regularly happened mostly was with his dead adopted father, Harry. You know, Dexter would constantly talk to Harry, his adopted father who was dead, but he was a regular character in the show that he would speak to. It was not a real ghost, but it was in his head, but he would constantly have almost every episode have these interactions and conversations with Harry, Harry's Law and all that sort of thing, right? So it would make sense that if Deborah's dead, she can come back and be that role, be that, dead family member that he talks to all the time. So it's not literally back. Now, then again, there's all the other things. What if her death was faked? If you watched how she died in Dexter, very unlikely that she faked her death, but I suppose it's possible. Other wild theories. It's a twin sister that, Dexter never knew she had. Maybe, but it is probably just Deb. Now, this comes to us from TV Line, or TV Web, I should say, who write the following. And it makes sense. It says, many are convinced that the new crew member also shown up. By the way, this is all based on a social media post that Jennifer put out herself, showing herself on set. And the speculation is, since the Dexter revival is shooting right now, that this is indeed for Dexter. Now, TV Web writes, many are also convinced that the crew member also shown in the image is wearing a Dexter lanyard, with Jennifer Carpenter sporting a wardrobe that looks very similar to that worn by Deborah throughout the original run of the show, as she had a well-known affinity for striped shirts. Could Carpenter simply happen to be portraying a completely different character in a completely different show who also likes to wear striped garments, also while Dexter just happens to be filming right now? Don't be so ridiculous, says TV Web. Now, look, that's all well and good. That's all well and good. But we do have to keep in mind that, that it is still possible, while she is posting this picture, and yes, it is the kind of clothes that Deb wore, and yes, they are shooting Dexter right now, it is possible that she's just off shooting something else. Well, why is she keeping it a secret? Why doesn't she just say what it is she's shooting? I don't know. In this particular circumstance, will buy into the conspiracy theories. I will buy in that I believe she is probably on set shooting the new season of Dexter. It does seem to make sense. right? They are shooting it now. The whole thing with Dexter talking to dead people, it seems to make sense, so I'm on board for this. Now, once again, I absolutely love this series. And one of the things that I loved most about it was the dynamic between Dex and Deb. I thought their dynamic was fantastic. I love their chemistry together. The two of them, even though they're divorced, they famously still get along really, really well. They talk about each other a lot, and they've been shown going to different functions together, so they still clearly have a very good relationship. So, hey, I think this is great news. If this is true, and what Jennifer Carpenter is actually posting about is actually her on set of Dexter, I think it's fantastic. It just makes me even more excited for the return of this show. Question is, guys, what do you think about that? Maybe you don't think she's there shooting for Dexter. Maybe you think she's shooting for something else. Maybe you feel like I do. It's like, yeah, it seems pretty clear that is Dexter. Does that excite you? Do you not care about the revival of the show? Whatever do you guys think? Jump on down into the comments section below and leave your thoughts there. All right, guys.